What's going on, guys? What the fuck's here? Gonna be playing some more StarCraft 2 beta today. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a PvP matchup on Desert Oasis. A couple things to note about this map. Desert Oasis is probably one of the largest maps in the game and is possibly one of the best ones to play on Protoss, especially against another Protoss. I know that's kind of contradictory to each other, but trust me when I say this, it leaves the mind open for a lot of creative play and leaves it where there's a lot of versatility for you yourself to expand come mid and late game, and a lot of versatility for your opponent to transition into come mid and late game. So it can be a great map for some very interesting games and some really good quality play from maybe higher tier opponents or higher tier players, which I definitely am not, but hopefully this will show you guys some things that I have learned about this map and a way to, as you can see on the replay bar, to get a quick 10-minute win. First thing you'll note is I got my pylon at 9 and I'm chrono boosting out the probes as quickly as possible, and my opponent is doing the same, and we pretty much go for the same opener, pretty much up and down. So there's really not going to be too much to talk about here in the beginning, but I will point out that he definitely, the only thing he really does wrong is just doesn't produce enough probes over this entire game, and that's one thing I will definitely point out to a lot of newer players, is that don't be afraid to hit the probe, SCV, or drone button. It's never really a mistake unless you just don't have the basis to warrant it. But when we're sitting here playing one base Protoss against one base Protoss, stumble fail, you should definitely be pumping them as much as possible. You'll notice he got his gas just a little bit quicker than me, but he's not really harvesting out of it, so it was kind of useless. But in this early game, it doesn't really matter too much. It's not really that big of a deal. You'll notice I've got my gateway out, and I'm putting my cybernetics core down. And you'll notice I decided not to wall off my ramp over here, and there's a couple reasons why I did that. Excuse me, had to burp a little bit early in the morning, but you know, whatever. First reason is that since this map distance is so huge for ground units to get across, I can pretty much guarantee that I am not going to be getting zealot rushed. So there's really nothing for me to worry about there. So the best thing to do in this case, this is just a personal opinion, but is go ahead and make your first gateway when you normally would, and leave it there just in case you do for some reason need to pump something out very, very quickly. But I would go ahead and wait and get your cybernetics core and start pumping your first stalker once you have 50 gas. And after you do that, it's iffy. That's probably one mistake I did make. I would probably get the stalker first and then start researching warp gate, but I went for warp gate, and luckily it really didn't matter here for me, so that's really not too big of a deal. But oh well. Yeah, I will be going for some kind of 4-gate push, and you'll see what comes out of it. You'll notice that my opponent has placed Jesus Christ, I cannot speak this morning, but he has placed a pylon just outside of my vision here, and you'll notice that yep, definitely can't see it, so it's going to be there, and it's pretty much going to be the whole match, and that could spell real big trouble. And that's one thing I did pick up out of this game, and that's really great placement if you can sneak it in there, and if you can, then you've definitely done yourself a great service. And one thing I do like to note is that I did put some buildings up here at my north spawn, or north point, and the reason why I did this is, one, it helped me hide some buildings, and two, as you just saw those stalkers run by, and I got a good look at those stalkers, so I've got my 2 stalkers placed here at the high ground, and that's free pop shots, so he can either run in here and take some extra damage if he likes, or he can just back out, which he decided to do, which was definitely the right play. He just should have done it a little bit quicker. Going back to my opponent's base, he has double gas going and has his 2 gateways up. His warp gate is about 75% done, whereas my warp gate is already completed, and I've already got my 2 warp gates coming, and I'm getting 2 gateways. And you'll notice I've left the income tab going this entire time, and this is what I want to point out. You'll notice I only have 5 more probes in him, but look how much of a difference that is income wise. That is phenomenal. We have about even gas. Well, actually, it is even gas, but I'm pumping about 140 to 160 more minerals than him every minute, and that's really the difference, and you'll see why. Got my Twilight Council going, and you'll notice I got Blink going, and he also has Blink going, so I think you already know where this is going. Have my robotics facility out, and I'm pumping an observer out very quickly, and this is pretty much what I do every time I play Desert Oasis. It almost works. I'd say it works probably 80% of the time. You'll notice I placed a pylon over here, kind of mimicking what he did, but I haven't spotted his yet. But you'll see my big flaw right here. I'll show you. Check it out. You think he can see that? I'm pretty sure he can see that, and his stock will be over here to kill it, so no dice on the warping in there, but it's really not too big of a deal. I've got plenty of units, so I decided to move out, and his stalkers were still waiting down here, and I kind of show my trump card and show the blink off, but oh well. And I just noticed this actually, but there's one lone stalker just kind of rolling in my pack here, but oh well. We got about 10 going here, so I pushed away his attack, and I have my observer in position. And what this allows me to do is this gives me vision of inside his base, and that allows my stalkers to blink in, and it's pretty much gonna be the way I win. So we're gonna go ahead and watch this attack, and this is really good play. And the good thing about it is this took roughly, I'd say 7.5 minutes to actually get up and going. It only took me so long because he did have a few forces out front. But so yeah, that's a pretty good strategy to go with, especially on Desert Oasis in the lower tier brackets. I'm sure this wouldn't work at maybe gold or above, but it worked for me here, and oh well. Hopefully it was pretty informative, and hopefully it helped. But the only thing I'll say is that producing a couple more probes in the early game can really pay off for you in the later game, especially if you notice that your opponent is not being very aggressive. But that's pretty much the game. He's realized he really can't do too much, and he's pretty much got no choice but to GG out of this. But oh well. I hope you guys enjoy this. My name's Flux. Peace.